Yes.
And if we accidentally swear and that, it's fine.
Accidentally?
Okay, fine. No,
Was
it's
it
fine.
deliberate?
Just any rules? Deliberate. Okay, swearing's
we
fine.
are broadcasting on His Majesty's internet, which, as you know, has had swearing on it before.
Do you want that up a bit, Lee?
Yeah, maybe.
And we're talking about a very sweary show, so it would be weird if you didn't swear.
We do need to be conscious of putting drinks down, right?
Yeah, banging and knocking the mics and clashing around.
Do we want sort of softer surfaces for our drinks? Have we got any coasters or placemats or
Yeah,
something?
for the
The coaster we have, unfortunately, have metal, which is not helpful.
No.
I've got it. So I've got some tissue here.
I'll put mine on my clipboard. It's fine. I'll give one of you a You can share a mouse pad for your drinks, maybe. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we can do this.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Fun.
Get a picture afterwards.
Yeah, I'll get one after.
We really need to get some soft
your
coasters.
headphones, Cyrus.
Do what? Oh yeah.
I'm nervous of that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll do the opening titles. The Spontaneity Shop presents The Guilty Feminist Watchers, and just like that, the Sex and the City Rehill, with me, Deborah Frances-White, and my very special guests, Lee Knight and Syrus Lowe. Season 3, Episode 8, Happily Ever After. Syrus and Lee, so lovely to have you both back on the podcast.
Thank you.
We're very happy to be here.
Now, you last did it 2 years ago, is that correct, for season 1?
Correct.
Season 1 of And Just Like That.
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
My
yeah.
God, it was.
2 years ago. So you were not a married couple then?
No.
You've had your own Sex and the City storyline since then. That's what's happened.
We arrived separately today, so that was worrying for Tom.
Yeah, I heard the doorbell go twice and I was concerned. I thought they're putting on a good front. They're like, we're not missing an opportunity to promote ourselves, even though we're not speaking. Yeah. Did Liza Minnelli appear at your wedding by any chance?
She popped in, did a few numbers.
I mean, it's important that it's as SATC as possible. Any other Sex and the City style parallels, Easter eggs in your wedding? A Vivienne Westwood suit / gown?
We did go hard on the fashion. I wore some heels that were from New York, specially brought over, and I wore a skirt.
Did you?
Which is that's quite...
Lee had a few outfits on.
I had a few,
day.
yeah.
Changes. You
I
had
had changes, yeah.
How many costume changes?
Well, you have your wedding day event, the actual wedding.
48.
Then the evening. So change for the evening. Then we had a garden party on the Sunday, so I wore... It was quite like Sex in the City vibes, right?
Yeah.
When did the skirt come in?
On the evening of the wedding.
For the first dance.
Yeah, for the first dance. It's like a men's Moschino skirt. I love it. I'm obsessed.
I'm so excited. I need to see pictures of that. Why have I not seen pictures?
I don't know why.
No, it seems like a missed opportunity because I would really gush over them and that would give you great pleasure.
Okay, I'm going to send you them.
Okay, I'm going to need that. And how are you feeling about And Just Like That season 3?
That's a big question.
Dare I ask? Just give us a first impressions before I do the recap of this ep.
I feel like we're seeing episodes between the episodes.
Oh,
it's
what
like
a good
we're
analysis.
seeing the things that happen in between that we don't care about. Is how I feel.
That's so good because you have to choose why we're seeing this day. Obviously, we don't see every day of Carrie Bradshaw's life, and we never have. Why are we seeing this day and not that day?
Yeah.
And the answer is we're seeing the bits
Please tell
of
me the
life.
answer. Please tell me the answer.
We're seeing the bits that should have been on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. I heard someone say the other day, I think it was Dylan, on Dylan and Juno's Sex and the City. They've done a long time Sex and the City podcast, and they, of course, always do And Just Like That. And he said, if these things were happening in my life, I wouldn't bother telling my friends about them down the pub.
My goodness.
And I was like, that's so true. Sometimes I'd think, was anyone going to be really interested in this? I probably wouldn't. I'd say, my husband's got, prostate cancer and it's been really difficult.
People should know that.
Yeah, that's...
But I wouldn't say someone brought him a very weird present of jumbo-sized macadamia nuts. And we thought that was an embarrassing innuendo. Lol. I would
was a whole storyline.
I would just leave that.
You just wouldn't do that.
I'd try hard not to acknowledge that innuendo to myself.
Yeah.
But what was interesting was that storyline was she was then forbidden to tell anyone about it. Do you see what I mean? That whole storyline about him having prostate cancer, it became about her absolutely forbidden to share her feelings or, fears on it with her friends.
Well, did you notice that Carrie hasn't told any of her friends about Aidan has slept with his wife?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
we need to talk about that.
Okay, all right.
We need to talk.
Recap.
We need to talk about
We're-
Aidan. I think that is in answer to your question of what do I think about this series is, my answer is we need to talk about Aidan.
Okay, so we're veering into this episode, so I'm going to do a quick recap so that we can start in earnest. Some people don't watch the show anymore; they just listen to this just to find out what's going on. So I need to do the recap, and also other people, they've got busy lives and they won't remember what we're talking about. Okay, or they might have fallen asleep through it. They definitely double screen, so it's really important.
Like Miranda when she was doing her work.
Yes,
Double screening.
Double screening. We all double screen.
We need to talk about her too.
Oh, we really do. Okay. In this week's episode, the erratic handlicker, Aidan, yet again arrives at Carrie's place unannounced and says, "I hope you don't have any plans for the rest of your day, week or life. My insufferable problem child doesn't want to live with me this week. I'm sure that'll last till at least Thursday when I have to run away again, claiming I can't see you till 2032. And Carrie says, "All righty," and cancels her work session with her handsome... You're allowed to laugh, it's all right.
Oh, okay.
In fact, if you don't, it's probably not that you don't force yourself to laugh, but don't stop yourself. And says, "All righty," and cancels her work session with the handsome writer man downstairs who's able to deconstruct her second act with intelligence, a pipe, and I'm sure reading glasses. A man so local she could literally fall out of bed onto him, and a man so available, as far as we know, he's never met another human being except Carrie Bradshaw. Meanwhile, Charlotte's putting on a retrospective of a fictitious 1980s artist who was clearly inspired to the point of plagiarism by Tracey Emin's 1997 work, My Bed. But instead of condom wrappers, this artist decides she needs a condom implausibly full of real ejaculate, while our favourite gallerinas have to fill it with genuine product via a syringe. It's at this point Charlotte gets vertigo again for the first time, all so she can later publicly plummet face first into some revolting condom in a Mr. Bean level contrivance because she needs to stop Miranda drinking. Yes, Miranda has decided it'd be cool for her to drink again so she can be sexy and stylish with her new girlfriend Joy. She claims that she might not be an alcoholic after all, but rather alcoholish. Is it wrong that I agree with her? Meanwhile, Lisa's flirking, that's working while flirting for the uninitiated, ramps up as Marion, her sex on legs co-worker, goes down on a papaya in the break room at lunchtime and takes her to the world's worst documentary that includes an extraordinary first-person voiceover featuring the line, "The vibe between us was magnetic. She and her piano, me and my horn." Lisa, presumably because this dog is unwatchable, leaves to do her own grocery shopping because these rich as fuck uptown people have never heard of a delivery service. Seema discovers her boyfriend doesn't wear deodorant. The exactly same thing happens to Anthony as happened last week. This week, no story happened in 30 minutes instead of no story happening in the usual 45, so I declare it very economical. And that's the recap.
Wow.
Yeah, the same thing happened to Anthony last week.
It happens the same thing keeps just happening. They just keep playing out the same beat. Like this Lisa storyline, it's the same beat, which is I fancy you, I think you fancy me, and trying to fight it. And it doesn't go nothing happens.
It doesn't go anywhere.
But they introduced flirking.
They introduced flirking.
But the question is...
That could be from the old SATC, to be fair.
Could be.
The question is, will they be flucking by next week? Or will they just not? That's what we want. That's what we want. No, but also Lisa said what she phoned one of them and said, what's happening? She's like, what is happening? It's obvious what's happening. Look at him, Marion.
Look at him.
Come on.
Charlotte was quite an enabler in that conversation with Lisa.
I thought that was the best scene in And Just Like That so far. It was like an old Sex and the City scene. They're walking along the street in fabulous outfits, albeit a bit implausible. And they're talking about, I've had a sex dream, what do you think it means? And Charlotte says, well, look, I mean, I have them sometimes, but I know they're not real because sometimes my hair is short, which is so Charlotte. It's like, don't worry about it. It doesn't mean anything. Because she thinks you're solid. Look, sometimes you have a crush at work. It just means you're still alive. It's, it's really hard to wake up and fancy exactly the same person every day for the rest of your life.
Believe me.
But also, what was
Terrible thing to say,
strange,
Cyrus. Not your husband.
I know, I'm
He's
sat right here. It's
so
okay.
gorgeous.
Not offended. But what was strange is that Lisa then had the scene, and there was a lot of sex in this episode, but then had the scene with her husband where she tries to, initiate.
Yeah.
And I think she used the term, put it in me, right?
And he said, is it my birthday? And I thought, are they only having sex once a year? They're meant to have this great sex life, I thought.
But I thought that was strange that she was having this thing with Marion and wondering if that's wrong. But then the scene with I was confused. I thought, are you trying to have sex with your husband? Or are you imagining that it's
Oh, is that what
here? I thought it was a bit strange. It unnerved me a little bit.
Oh, I think she's just trying to get back the hotness. She's horny.
Right,
She's,
okay.
She's
She's horny.
frisky
She is.
because, she's working with this guy she fancies.
Yeah.
But she's thinking responsibly, don't put it there. If you get this heat back in with your husband, you're directing that hotness to a good place. And I think and I think a crush at work can up your sex life.
And if that happens, she's going to not want to be flucking at work. Or
Exactly.
What do they call it? Florking.
Flirking.
Flirking
is flirting and working.
And flucking is...
You've coined flunking, which is
Flunking,
clearly
yeah,
fucking
flunking.
and working, which is what that CEO was doing at the Coldplay concert.
That is
Now, there's a storyline.
Insane. Put that in.
But it's
and
the
just like
blame. It's the blame, wasn't it? Like, I should be able to do private things, but you put your trust in an event. It's like all these people get caught blame something else other than the fact that they are the ones.
I think that apology turned out to be a spoof. It was not real. Yeah.
Oh,
It was
okay.
it was somebody wrote an apology on his behalf that they thought was really funny that included Coldplay lyrics. And everyone's bought it.
Oh, yes,
Everyone's
yeah,
bought it.
okay,
I'm so
okay.
it bums me out it's not real though because it was so good.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant.
But yeah, very much like the CEO who got caught flucking with the head of HR. And now they've both been fired, I think. Mortifying, absolutely mortifying.
That is mortifying.
I think if they'd styled that out and just not reacted, no one would have ever seen it because the chances of their partners seeing that would have been probably quite slim.
Yeah,
It
they
was
made
the
it
fact
worse.
that they dove onto the floor like they were in a trench.
Yeah.
in the
It was
First
him.
World War.
But
Yeah,
what are
and he
the
almost
chances?
threw her.
But
He was like,
what are the chances of out of everyone being on camera at that gig?
Well,
It's,
Karma.
The chances are always there. So
They're
be
all-
wary.
They are. Yeah. I'm not a Coldplay fan. So that's never...
So it'll never happen
so,
to you.
yeah, maybe a Gaga concert.
Maybe a Gaga concert, yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
But when Lisa got on top of her husband, whose name I don't remember,
And said, put it in me.
I presumed he was naked. But then when he got out of bed, he had full-length trousers on, which really confused me.
He did have full-length trousers on, yeah.
Full-length trousers. That is the only thing. Well, that's kind of telesex, isn't it? They've always got their clothes on a bit.
There was all these new words they were creating this week. Miranda said alcoholish.
Oh, yes.
Which
yes.
I like.
As a Londoner.
Is that because you're alcoholish?
I just think I felt seen.
As a sort of functional alcoholic Londoner. I mean, the whole of London. Those scenes that... this is a story that my friend told me. Again, it's got more plot in it than anything that's happened this week, so I don't blame myself for doing it, for going there. A friend comes into town from LA. They have a big fun night. Next time he comes into town, he says, look, just so you know, I'm not drinking anymore. And she says, oh, okay. And he says, I think you know why. And she goes, no. And he goes, because last time I came, what happened? And she went, what happened? And he went, I just drank so much. I crashed out on your floor and I was trying to climb up the wall and then I realised I was climbing the floor. Like I was so drunk and I just thought I could never drink again. And my friend, the Londoner, just went, oh. She just was like, that was just Wednesday. She was really like, oh my God. She was like, that. It just didn't dawn on her that anyone would give up drinking because they'd had one messy night. And I think similarly with Miranda, she wasn't ever dysfunctionally drunk. A couple of times there was sort of things like, I get it. She had a hip flask at a children's concert, but which of us hasn't? Like, it's a children's concert.
It's a children's
Gotta
concert.
get through it.
Exactly.
Gotta get through
gotta
it.
Get through it. Exactly.
And she occasionally would say, oh, should we have a rosé with lunch or something like that? But it was a real, certainly functional. I'd understand going, do you know what, I'm going to go off the booze for a while and actually some people go off the booze and they go, realised I just feel so much better. I'm never going back on it. But I feel like, and I know this is not going to be the message of the show. The message of the show is, if you've gone into the programme, stay in the programme. And I think that's probably good advice, kids. So
Very good advice.
Definitely.
And I thought they handled that very well. I thought they handled that moment of her sitting at the desk and going over, and because she's such a great actress, I think she's wonderful. She did play that very well. It was probably one of the only moments where I sat there speaking out loud, going, "No, don't do it." It was really well played in the flat that she'd bought within 24 hours, and then.
And when she went back, I thought she was going to drink. I was getting flashbacks of that moment in that film with Denzel Washington. Is it Flight?
Oh yeah.
Is it Flight? Where he's the alcoholic pilot and he just grabs the drink. I thought she was going back for that.
It was very well done.
But that would be plot, and I don't think we can have that.
That would be plot. But also, how does Joy feels like an intelligent British woman? How has she not thought, why doesn't Miranda drink,
She's a journalist. She's an investigative journalist. Like, of course, you would assume. And by now, they've been intimate. They're girlfriends. It would have come up. She would have said, do you not drink or you don't drink? Is it, because you'd say, they say, some people are allergic. Some people just don't like it. Some people had alcoholic parents. Some people are themselves have alcoholism. That would come up.
And they're so close because she bought that flat because it allowed dogs. So how does she not? So she bought that flat within 24 hours. Do you remember? She said, "I'm going to buy that flat and I'm going to give $100,000 over asking." And she said, "And I want everything in it." And the next
day
bit, she's on the sofa, but the blinds are even at the same. It's like even the dishcloth. She got everything.
This is a man who notices interiors.
Everything.
Interiors. Well, this is why I explained that a chair was out of place when you came in first.
That's true.
Because I need you to know that that's not where it was meant to be.
I forgive you.
That's a really good observation. That she she refused to buy a perfect place for her because it wouldn't have dogs, and that's how much she likes Joy. But she's never said to Joy, "Yeah, I stopped drinking." I don't think you even have to say you're an alcoholic if you don't want to give that much away. You just say, "I stopped drinking. I was depending on drink too much, and I just thought I'm just way happier without it. I feel so much more energized." That is sexy. And it's sexy if someone knows themselves, someone loves themselves so much. If alcohol's not doing it for them, they give it up. I think that's absolutely sexy. And I know what's going to happen next week. She's going to tell Joy, because she has to, because she's thrown out her impossible to get anywhere but Canada gin.
Down the chute.
Yeah.
We heard it smash, so she can't go and get it back.
She smashed it. Yeah.
And she's going to have to say, I know that gin probably cost $100 and now I've just thrown it down the chute. It's because I'm an alcoholic, and and Joy's going to say, maybe I should give up. And Gin's going to say, I swear this is water. And Joy's going to say, oh, honesty's so sexy.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
That's what's going to happen.
Or she'll be livid about the gin.
And they'll break up.
They'll play on that, and they'll break up because she'll say, that gin is the last bottle ever made. And, they'll go all the way with that storyline.
Listeners, I'm sorry to tell you this, but if that happens, this show is cancelled.
But you never know.
If that happens, you'll never hear from me again. I'm just going on the witness relocation program. I literally can't.
But Miranda, every time I see her storyline, I just am, I know we're not talking about that episode, but when she she can't even have a drink without spilling it on a table. They have made her become this sort of unable to function. And she's supposed to be a lawyer, and she's smart, and she couldn't even buy her own flat or go to it. What have they done to Miranda?
I know. I think she must have had a stroke in the intervening years.
Yeah.
She's just a totally different person.
She can't even. I mean, I'm sorry. I know. When she told the neighbour to keep the noise down, and he had a meat cleaver, and he had a meat cleaver, and she screamed. The next minute, she was like, "I'm here for a sleepover." Like nothing happened. It's just sort of. I feel like she's wilted down into this sort of pathetic character, and I sort of want to save her.
And even when her new girlfriend says, "Can I keep this bottle of gin here?" and then she says, "Oh my God, you don't drink. What am I thinking? Don't worry." She's sort of a bit the same as she was with Shay. And says, no, it's wonderful. Rather than going, actually, it's probably, if that's okay. Like having any kind of old school Miranda backbone. She was so boundaried
Yeah.
the original Miranda, wasn't she? She
Yeah.
was the big boundary person. It was like, Steve, you cannot be here with this. If you're going to do that, I need my sleep. La 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 la. And even with her friends, she was like, Carrie, I'm not going to hold your hand through this big thing again. I've done it too many times. She was a very boundaried person, and it seems like something has happened to her boundaries.
She's a lesbian now, and they've made her, not have any boundaries. It's
mean,
true, isn't it? It's like
But
just
I
she's
know lesbians who have boundaries.
absolute. I mean, absolute. Listeners, I wasn't saying that lesbians don't have boundaries.
Lee just got cancelled.
No, but it seems like they've made her. She's come out, and with coming out, they've made her not able to say what she feels and wants, and she's sort of,
I feel like she just does what the storyline needs,
Yes.
regardless of character.
And character is some famous screenwriter guru who says this, is that character is who the person is under pressure.
Okay.
How they deal with things under pressure.
When they're under pressure, what is revealed? It's what's revealed when the character's under pressure.
Yeah.
So with James Bond, when he's under pressure, when you first meet him, he's a playboy, he's charming, sexy, but when he's under pressure, he turns into a cold, hard killer. And he can run really fast, and he doesn't give a fuck. He can just get rid of it. Someone he loves dies, and he can have a cold shower and
A martini.
and walk into the sea and feel a bit sad for 25 seconds. And then if there's someone behind him, he's immediately back into ha! And so it's like who Miranda was under pressure versus who she is now. It's like a personality. And people do change as they get older, but
Not that much.
not so radically. Usually.
Not
People
so
mellow.
radically.
People definitely
Yeah,
mellow, but I
she's-
think, or they harden.
Yeah.
So overall, what did you think of Miranda's storyline, and where are you hoping it'll go next?
I did like as I said, I did like that moment. I felt like that was because of what a great actress she is. I thought that how she handled that moment with the alcohol it will speak to a lot of people, So I liked that, but I mean, it's the story isn't. They're never getting to the grit of it, right into the mud. I wanted them to kind of attack
I liked her trying to justify it to Carrie and Charlotte at the gallery. I thought there's some truth there.
Yeah, the way that we do, we want our friends' permission.
Yeah.
I've got some friends who often need to run something by someone else, and if they're asking you, they're wanting you to go, absolutely, that's the best thing you could do, because
they want your permission, right?
They want your permission because they want it signed off, or sometimes they've done something and then they go, but you can see why, I went round to his house at 4:00 in the morning and banged on his door, and I didn't know his girlfriend would be there in their bed. And they kind of want you to say, yeah, I get it, And I'm sure we all do it. I'm not saying this is other. I'm sure I've definitely done that where I've justified something to someone else. So yeah, I think that's quite relatable.
So her talking at the gallery about her drinking, you think she's trying to sort of say, it's, make it okay that she wants to have a drink.
Yeah, and they don't give her permission. Cyrus,
Hello.
any other thoughts on Miranda and her plot line?
I hope she doesn't drink, but I'm interested in seeing that journey. I hope there's some continuation to that story.
I suspect she won't, because I don't think they want to go there. I think if they were going to go there, they would have gone there this week. But what I wish is they'd breadcrumbed it more. She said she was an alcoholic. She went into the programme. We've never seen her struggle since. The only thing we've ever seen is her go, I'll have a no secco or a faux grony or, something like that. And she's never struggled. I think if we'd seen her struggle before, or it ever felt like an issue, this would be a great moment where this is the story, this is my rewrite. She's confessed a couple of times to the girls that, like, when things get stressful, like having nowhere to live makes her want to drink. So when she goes and crashes with Carrie after she's had the meat cleaver thing, Carrie's having a drink and she goes, I'd kill for one of those now. And Carrie goes, oh, sorry, I shouldn't be drinking in front of you. I hadn't even thought. Or Carrie accidentally goes, do you want one? And she goes, no, oh my God. And then she goes, I'd kill for one. And she goes, no, I'm not going to have any. I won't have any with you. So Carrie says, honestly, and Carrie throws it out, goes, that's the last thing I'd want to do. You're in a really stressful situation. You don't have a house to live in. Like, I'm going to do that. So Carrie does that. And then when we see the girlfriend come over with the gin, the way I would play that out is have the girlfriend have forgotten, not realise, whatever. And that she's always covered by like, I'll go to the bar and I'll order the drinks. And she doesn't know I'm having a mocktail or whatever. Like they haven't quite gone there yet. Or she said, I don't feel like it tonight or whatever. And that the girlfriend makes her a cocktail and she just drinks it. I'd have that sort of like, I just couldn't bring myself to tell her. And I drank it. And then after she left, I drank 3 more. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I have to go back to a meeting. I'd rather have that.
Like planting the seed that grows rather than a son. But they do that a lot, don't they? Where they just don't plant the seed. They just like, we didn't know that Carrie had someone living underneath her. And I feel like that didn't grow. That was just, the guy in her basement.
Yeah.
It just suddenly we were like, hang on, wasn't she writing with the rats in the garden? But then suddenly there's a guy beneath her. But it felt like it wasn't, they just suddenly go, oh, this is happening, rather than this weaving it through, and then it builds and we go, oh, that's where this came from. I feel like they just drop things in that are quite random.
The flat was empty. He comes over every 6 months. I think it's his flat. But they didn't say when she bought the house, there's a flat underneath, but the guy's never there. Yeah. Like that. Just like that.
Yeah, two lines.
It's empty. It's like, when Seema's selling it to her, she can go, and the best thing is, there's a flat downstairs, but he's never there. It's just some rich guy from London. Because writers' rooms do plan out over season. Maybe they didn't know and they hadn't worked it out. But they should at least have referenced at some point before the guy turns up that the flat downstairs is empty, because we thought it was a house.
We did think it was a house.
And now it's an apartment.
And actually, when her and Aidan are walking up the stairs with the 2 duffel bags at the start of the episode, I didn't know where they were because I don't understand the layout of that flat.
Right.
Also, she had the heavier bag, but we could talk about that.
We can talk about that.
That looked like a hotel that they were walking up.
It was her house.
There are so many rooms I've never seen before. There's no furniture and anything.
Why has she been there so long? Like Miranda buys a house in 24 hours and it's fully furnished. But yet Carrie's got a house that she hadn't even got rugs in last week.
I can answer that because I've listened to and just like that Writers' Room podcast with Michael Patrick King and the other people who write it. And they said they didn't want to do another furnishing story. So they just decided to give Miranda a flat that she would like the furniture in, and she could say, I'll have it furnished and I don't need to worry. But why it's taking her so long to buy basic things like a sofa is really unknown. And I did see a clip on Instagram of Sarah Jessica Parker on someone's show, and the interviewer was going, why do you still have any furniture? And she said, sometimes these things take time. She said, when you bought your place in New York, was it furnished immediately? And he was like, oh, she said, see? And I was like, but on TV, I'm like, yes, but people do usually buy basic things. They have basic things from their last flat, or, they get a sofa. They might be waiting for the right painting or something, but it's not normally that empty this long. But also on TV, there's also, there's so much implausibility in this show. Do you really think we'd be going, she's got chairs already? I can't buy into that.
But also the kitchen is tiny. She's got this huge house, and then there's this little chair, and when her and Aidan was sitting there having coffee in one of the episodes, it's tiny. It's like an IKEA little bistro set in this. It's sort of, but also the garden should be Duncan's.
It's shared garden, right?
Might be shared.
I mean, it's like,
Meaning?
if we're getting into details, it's right outside his door. And
I
don't know. And she just cut everything down because there was a couple of rats.
He's not mentioned it. That is another whole storyline which we will get to. Is this the time to get to that now? Actually, we could get straight to Aidan and Carrie. Get to the meat and potatoes. In case anyone has to go. Bloody hell. The way Aidan's treating her.
Again, personality transplant.
Every single week. Aidan was the reliable one.
Yeah.
So Jess Regan, friend of yours.
I don't know her.
Went to drama school with you.
Love
That's how I
Jess.
met both of you, because
Yeah.
I was teaching you at drama school.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm such a lovely teacher. Years later, my students want to come to my house and make a podcast with me.
Oh, that's lovely.
I mean, it's a shame that I'm the one that has to say it, but it's still true.
But we're thinking it.
You're thinking it, and that's what's important to me. It's not what's important to the listeners, though. They have to hear it. Jess Regan said on this show a few weeks ago, she thinks Aidan's kind of paying her back by now being the chaos demon that she was in the 90s or the noughties. And which is an interesting theory, because this is how she was. I wanted, I don't, come back. I want to marry you. I can't marry you. This is how she was. And he's got the payback. But again, Carrie is such a different person.
I mean, the whole thing about I slept with Kathy. That was just ridiculous that they apparently had this conversation.
Unforgivable.
She
was fine with it.
I understand. Do you know what I quite like? Is a more mature, she's in her 50s, a more mature response, which is, I do understand it, and not just, throwing things and screaming and going, get out. However, you wouldn't then just go to bed with him and then say, come and go as you please. You'd say, look, you clearly, I do understand it. You've got a difficult child together. You went back. You understand this situation with Wyatt. You two raised him, and you had this moment of comfort. How can I say when I went back to my ex when we were together that this is unforgivable? That I shouldn't say that because I've done it myself. However, you need to go and sort yourself out. The way that you said to me back then, you need to go and sort yourself out. You took me back, but I needed some time out from that. And you need to go and work out what's happening with you and Wyatt, what's happening with you and your ex-wife, who, by the way, has a long-term partner. What's going on, which never mentioned, what's going on with you and this situation. When you've sorted out, genuinely sorted out, maybe when Wyatt's 18 and you've sorted it all out, if I'm still free and we still have feelings for each other, let's pick it up then. Otherwise, please don't keep just turning up on a whim and then running away. It's not respectful of what we've had. That's what she needs to say.
And what she said was, I'm angry that we've never had this conversation before. Now, was she talking to the writers from when she was saying those lines?
Maybe.
Because I was also thinking, why have you never had this conversation? How have you gone from him just saying, I had sex with Kathy, and then you're now discussing the rules of your relationship, and he says, what? So you think you can sleep with other people? And it was like, you're only just having this conversation when a few weeks ago you didn't even know whether you could text him. Like, that was just bizarre.
Bizarre that they were sending each other blank postcards. And I'm like, and then she said, well, did you expect me to sleep with no one else for 5 years? And I'm like, yeah, of course she was going to have hookups. So just because you're keeping in touch by blank postcard doesn't mean fidelity, does it? If it does, I've fucked up.
And also, they're not written on postcards.
No, they're blank postcards.
They're blank postcards.
That is not a fully rounded relationship in my mind.
And the playing with himself in the car.
Oh,
and
my God, that was
Do you think
awful.
they're setting
I can't get
up?
past
I
it.
can't get it. It's just
the licking of the hand is what I can't get past. That's why today in my recap I called him erratic hand licker.
I did notice that, and
because it's just forever burnt on my brain.
I wonder if they are setting up maybe it's obvious that we don't like him, because
well, they've been setting that for a very long
they
time.
have. Okay, no, but what I mean is
episodes.
but what I mean is she was carrying the bag. This is little detail, but she was carrying the bags up the stairs, and it was like she was carrying a bag of guns, right? She was struggling with those bags. She was, and he had two. And there was nothing in them. And I'm just it's all these little things where I'm and then he says, how long are you going to be writing? How long are you going to be writing? What have you got in the fridge? And
He's just turned up without any...
You've just turned up.
This is what he does. Who doesn't call from Virginia or text and say, is it okay to come today? And then he says, I hope you haven't got any plans for the day, week, or your life. And I have made plans, actually, because you said you weren't available for 5 years.
Yeah.
And also, what
have you got in your fridge? That's unacceptable.
What's he doing for work? That he can just be hopping from Virginia back and forth.
I have wondered this. Did his furniture business make so much money? He's retired in his 50s. That seems unlikely.
Well, he couldn't replace a window, could he? That he smashed.
That's true.
So he can't be that, fantastic it is. He couldn't change a window. He had how many doors did he have going? Well, they're all different glass, and I don't, that was a disaster. But just his behaviour, that in bed, and then when she cancelled writing, I thought, he's just manipulating you because
It's
he said,
so
have you not? You're busy. Oh, how long will it be? What have you got in your fridge? And then he's just throws in the family information. She says, why don't you tell me? You're more important. I'm gonna cancel.
Oh no,
writing.
Wyatt hasn't texted me, and I'm gonna have to have dinner on my own.
Yeah, my
I'm
annoying
like,
son.
Listen, why is your problem, mate? Like, sorry, but there's a reason Carrie Bradshaw didn't have children and didn't want children with Aidan. She didn't want to marry him when she had the chance. He wanted to marry her. He wanted to have children. He wanted to make a home. She had such a bad reaction to that. She broke out in a rash. There's a reason why Wyatt is someone else's kid. And if she had a child, he wouldn't be called Wyatt. Okay? So just put that on the table and then go back to Virginia, sort it out. Because you know that Wyatt's going to call up tomorrow going, Dad, I miss you. And he's going to run away again. And she's going to have to be fifth on the list. And downstairs is a writer who goes, oh, come and talk about, the second chapter with me. And it's so lovely when two writers sit and talk about each other's work. And Aidan reduces that to what? You just say page 22 sucks. And she goes, yep, that's what we do. We say page 22 sucks because he doesn't understand her world. Cyrus, explain to me why Aidan isn't with Duncan, who, by the way, it really annoys me when Aidan calls him Duncan.
Carrie isn't with Duncan. But I'm so here for it. I'm so here for
that would be a plot twist.
Maybe that's why he's asking about him so much.
Yes.
Aidan is in to Duncan.
Oh my God. But when why isn't Carrie with the man who's so available downstairs that he doesn't seem to have any friends or family? We've never seen him talking to anyone but Carrie ever. So let me ask you this. Why is she not with the writer downstairs where they can intelligently talk about the conversation? Neither of them seem to have other baggage responsibilities. He doesn't seem to have kids, or if he has, they're grown up in London. Why is she not with him?
I think she's being slowly driven into his arms by Aidan's toxicity.
Do you think?
Chariots of fire slowly.
It's very convenient because he's he's downstairs. Under the stairs. He's downstairs.
Okay, can I put this to you?
Yeah.
Last week when she had that really weird, fiery argument with Miranda, and all Miranda had said is, "Oh, I saw you having a little flirt." Do you remember? And then then she didn't say she was flirking. She said she was flirking, and she was like, "Oh, I thought that was nice. You have a little chat with her." And she really flew at Miranda, got really angry. I liked that they had an argument. However, do you know what that argument should have been about? She should have said, yeah, no, there's nothing going on with me and Duncan. Aidan, though, slept with his wife. She's like, what? And she goes, Carrie, have some respect for yourself. You've got to tell that guy to take a hike. And she goes, you don't get us. We're complicated. I slept with Big. He slept with his wife in some ways, but I understand it. And she's like, what do you understand? Like, he's coming and going. He's treating you like crap. That's what it should have been about. That would have been one of their old school arguments where she stood up. She said, drop Big. I don't like the Russian. She was always the friend who'd go, enough is enough. Even with Berger, you need a bit. She told Carrie when she was with the toxic man. That's what it should have been about.
But don't forget, that was a different Miranda.
Literally a different Miranda. Yeah.
This is Miranda point 2.
Mrs. Miranda, who goes, I'm sorry I said anything.
She was so scared, wasn't she, when Carrie went for her? She went, I'm so sorry, are we okay? And then just like that, she said, we're fine. At the end, she said...
That's why it's called And Just Like That.
And just like that, they're fine. And just like that, Miranda's got an apartment in 24 hours.
And just like that, Miranda's an alcoholic.
You're obsessed with that apartment.
Well, I know, but, it's those things that matter.
If you've bought property, though, you do go, it takes ages to complete and to get the keys.
It takes me 5 weeks to choose a plant pot. So the fact that she has got, I'm jealous and bitter. But Aidan is like, there's a lot happening there that... But Duncan also is not... Like, is he nice? Do we like him? Are they making
He's got
him...
nicer. I think they're making us slowly like him. I think the big thing for me with the Aidan thing, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I'm more interested in the other storylines.
Wash your mouth out.
But Aidan is an old romance. He's an old romance.
Yeah.
And I just... I can't get it out of my head. Alison Spittle on this podcast said a few weeks back, we've just got to accept that Aidan is now an anti-vaxxer. And I just can't get it out of my head. I think he voted for Trump. I just can't. I can't move on from it, and that, to be fair, is not the writers. That's my good friend and comedian Alison Spittle, but it just has lingered, and I'm just like, they've got nothing in common. She's at a different stage of life now. She wants a writer to talk about writing with. They can read books together. She can read his, he can read hers. It's a lovely relationship. Why wouldn't she want that? It's brand new. It's fresh. It's not all this baggage. I bet the sex would be great.
He makes stew.
Okay, that's one of the cons. That's not on the pro list.
No, yeah.
His mutton stew, but that's what they think of British people eating. They think we eat mutton.
Yeah, that's true. Just mutton stew. Yeah.
Just mutton stew.
To be fair, that's 3 nights a week.
But he couldn't even cook it, could he? Because the fire alarm went off. He nearly set fire to the place. I mean, yeah.
I like they had a rom-com beginning where he was like, "Can you please take your shoes off?" Which is very true. I've had neighbours live down below who go, "Oh, we can hear when you walk across the." I think it's a rom-com beginning that I haven't seen before. You're being too noisy upstairs. Well, let's make peace over this. Come up for karaoke, which neither of us will sing. I can absolutely see the two of them hitting it off. Not necessarily a super interesting way, but this isn't a super interesting show. It's not advertised that it's super interesting.
We are getting what we paid for.
It's our fault. It's just masochism at this point.
Yeah.
But that's one of the themes of the show, masochism.
Also, there's something just bringing up that I have to ask. Lisa, where's her son gone?
Yeah.
Where's he gone? She's got an older son.
He was in karaoke last week.
No, there was an older son.
Oh.
Gone.
He's gone.
Gone.
Where's he gone?
They've lost a child.
He's gone.
That's a good plot line. It's not.
He is literally
disappeared. It's not suitable for this show, but it certainly would be story.
What needed its own plot line was Lisa's first outfit and the amount of stripes.
Oh, too much fun.
The top, the trousers, the bag, the presents she gave Harry, her shoes. It was like
Was that with the elephant brooch?
Elephant brooch
With
with like
jewels.
strangling her.
Ridiculous. That was
No wonder she needs a good flucking.
And is it Marion?
Yes, of course it is.
The eating.
You know it is.
The eating.
Don't pretend you don't know
the
Marion
eating.
is.
What was the way he
eating
was?
of the papaya.
That was.
No one eats. I mean, I love papaya.
I love papaya.
But for lunch instead of a salad, you wouldn't have a whole papaya.
he was.
No one has that
He
for
was
lunch.
eating that like he was performing an act.
Did you not hear in my recap that he went down on the papaya?
went
with
down.
the
Oh
right fruit?
yes, okay.
Seeds and all.
Yeah,
That was.
it's a very sexual episode. The word "cum" was mentioned a few times, and we had licking of armpit.
And we had real semen.
They do it disgustingly now. Like, I feel like in the old Sex and the City that some of the sex was comedy and some of the sex was sexy, but now it's all kind of just gross. It's kind of that hand licking thing, and it's not all, but it's quite common to have, like it's like a parody of the old Sex and the City. It's like if Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French were doing a parody of Sex and the City, they'd be syringing ejaculate into a condom for an art exhibition, and then one of them would fall face first into it, and it's like that's the joke version. That's like
That's brilliant.
It's a sort of what Sex and the City? What are they wanting? Well, if Samantha was still in it, surely we'd want to see her fill a condom with ejaculate. No, we wouldn't. We never wanted that. That was not. Samantha was classy.
She was classy.
She was sexy, but she was classy. She would go down on the UPS man, but in a very sexy way.
Very sexy way. I love that the French and Saunders, or they'd be writhing around in bed like Karen Aiden, and she'd say, what time is it? It's 7:30, evening or morning? Evening. What year is it? Like that. Actually, when that happened, that I got a little pang of depression for her life when they were in bed, and he said, "What time is it?" She said 7:30, and he said, "Morning or evening?" She said, "Evening." And I just thought, is this meant to just be romantic? Because it didn't make me feel romantic. It made me feel like, wow, you really have nothing else to do than roll around in bed and not know it's now the evening. I had this moment of, oh, that's quite sad.
And when does she write?
At the end of the episode.
But like,
She writes one sentence a week. This novel is going to be done by the time she's 98.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true because she just drops everything for him. And I don't think we're meant to be. In the old days, in the old OG SATC, we would have been thinking, oh, she's left her laptop in New York. She's gone to Paris without it. She's following a toxic man and she's not being true to herself. But now I think we're just meant to think, oh, it's romantic. They're having afternoon delight. They've woken up for a nap. They didn't even know what time of day it is. She's going to cancel the guy downstairs for him. And we're not being led anywhere anymore, I don't think. That's what I feel. I feel like you were trying to come in before, Cyrus. Did you have a point?
Sorry, that's my fault.
That's my life. No.
You need to do a recap together every
We
week
need-
because I feel like we would learn a lot
Yeah.
through the kind of 3D SATC relationship that is sitting in front of me.
What do we think of?
Hold on.
Oh, so I thought
I'm literally through
I thought I
to
was
your
saving
husband.
him. I thought I was saving him.
I literally asked him and he was looking at his notes.
I know, and you feel the same about this. I just have. There are many things I have no interest in this show. Seema is top of the list. I mean, I just
agree.
don't care.
I just don't think we've ever been given enough purchase on that.
And the whole thing around the deodorant, and then when he said he uses the crystal stick,
Oh, yeah.
and she reacted like he said he takes crystal meth.
Yeah.
I'm really, and I know she was brought in as a kind of replacement to Samantha, but it's almost like, it's like, that's when I want to go to my phone.
They've already been to bed. And he said, and you've been to bed with me and I smell good, right? And she goes, yes. So it's just the concept of it. If he wouldn't use deodorant and that was an issue because I'm like, oh my God, he works in a garden and he doesn't want to. And some people absolutely won't use deodorant because they think it's poison. And you can tell. I can see that being an issue. I'm not one I really want to see. It's a bit gross, but I understand that being an issue. But if he smells good, why the fuck does she care what he uses if he uses something natural? I don't fuck. I can't stand it. And then his surname is suddenly Karma because his mother changed it to Karma because he was obviously raised by a hippie. And she's like, no, I can't be having that. And I was like, you've got this gorgeous guy who's down to earth, who adores you, who's giving you multiple orgasms. You're laughing together in a restaurant. He's perfect. What are you talking about? I suppose it's a bit of screwball banter, isn't it? It's like, I'm afraid you needed to tell me this before you were involved, I think. But it's not anything happening.
There's nothing.
The licking of the armpit.
I didn't want to. I did.
But it was like the best thing that happened to her. And she's dated men. She's having she's enjoying herself. But then when he licked her armpit, it was like
She had an
the
orgasm.
heavens had opened. It was like, I think they were.
I like a man or a woman or a non-binary person to lick my armpit. This is not gender based. I don't want anyone licking my armpit because I'd be like, I'd be so self-conscious of like, sweat, deodorant, whatever.
It depends who it was. If it was like someone at work, you wouldn't. But
Excuse me, don't criticise my flirking.
I'm all here
Flirking
for the
and
flirking.
flacking.
I'm here for the flirking, the plucking, whatever. But
The flogging, that's snogging at work, by the way. No,
Is
it's
it?
not. Hold on. That doesn't work.
do you think we should have a sign typed out of what's acceptable in the workplace? So flucking between these times. Flirking is between,
I feel like actually fucking at work's got to be working.
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 Because it's the F of the fucking and the W
It's quite hard to
Of
say.
working.
of the working, isn't it? Working.
Working.
But flucking's funnier, so we'll stick with flucking.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
That was quite a strong reaction, but that's just.
I equally am like, fine. I don't care. I'm like, enjoy the gardener. He seems nice. But
mean-
it doesn't feel like anything's happening. And what about poor old Anthony? Same thing keeps happening to him every week.
Same thing. And which brings me on maybe to talk about when we met SJP. Can we talk about that? Is this a good time? Because we also met Anthony.
Always a good time.
We also met Anthony. And
Stop it.
But
right
yeah, but
now.
this is brilliant because I can tell the story, right? We went to the press night of Plaza Suite, and
in London?
in London, and
Amazing.
we went and Syrus is friends with the director, who's good friends with SJP.
John Benjamin Hickey, who was in a very early episode of Sex and the City.
Yeah,
really?
a wonderful actor who Cyrus did a play with called The Inheritance. But so he had invited Cyrus, and Cyrus says, "Look, Lee's a big fan of SJP," and we went along, and every homosexual that works in our business turned up, of course.
Wow.
Every casting director,
Wow.
and they all wanted to meet Sarah. Like, of course.
What made it even more camp, so I'm interjecting, was we were in the ballroom at the Savoy, full of homosexuals.
Yes.
Yes, to see the play,
Pullulating with homosexuals.
but wanting to meet SJP.
Yeah.
So show
queuing
ends,
up.
everyone's having a
Packed.
drink after the show, and it is just full of people wanting to be near her.
And I knew we would meet her because of John Benjamin Hickey. I knew because Syrus had said and he'd come over. John had said she's upstairs meeting people, and it was a bit like the Queen. Everyone was in the room thinking, is she going to come to the party? And she didn't. Wow. She didn't, because she had investors to meet. She was working upstairs. She had all these people. But then near the end of the night, we were having a really nice chat with Mario Cantoni, who plays Anthony. And we were congratulating him on the last series and saying how his character had really great storylines. It was lovely. He was so nice. He was actually waiting to see SJP because she was so busy. Wow. So we were all there just waiting. But suddenly John comes over and goes, right, come up. So we go up, we get taken up into this room.
And the homosexuals had fallen one by one. So it was because also
like the women in the restaurant waiting for Smith.
Exactly.
When Samantha won. You were the Samantha.
Yes. I was Samantha. So basically it was Sunday night, people had work the next day. As it was getting later, people were leaving, but we were like, we're staying. We're staying.
And people were starting to leave, going, she's not going to come into the party. So John takes us up into this private room. We go into this room, and there's SJP with Matthew Broderick. And she turns around. She just looked absolutely gorgeous. And she turned around and said, Syrus, I remember you from The Inheritance, because he'd met her. She did. She absolutely did.
That's so charming.
And he said, this is my husband, Lee. and then she said, oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't been downstairs. And is everyone okay? I was like, they're all drunk with a free drink, don't worry. And she was like, good. And she I think she actually had a Cosmopolitan in her hand. And she was just gorgeous.
Wow.
I met her briefly when I did The Inheritance, when she came over to see that. Yeah,
By the way, if you didn't see Syrus in The Inheritance, an absolute triumph.
Unbelievable.
A triumph, a real triumph.
700 hours of theatre. No, I'm joking. It was 7 hours. Two parts. She was gorgeous. It was amazing meeting her.
And she looked incredible. She had like a tiny gold dress on that was all jewels. So it was just all kind of beads and crystals, I suppose. She just, of course, looked beautiful. Something about being in her presence that is strange, because of what an icon she is, not because just of Sex and the City, but all the Hocus Pocus, First Wives Club. She's a massive icon, a gay icon, and it was amazing the turnout and the reaction people had to being around her or seeing her. It comes with such weight. It was pretty amazing, actually.
And she was just loving being in London doing a play. I think
I think her first love is theatre. She always says that. She loves theatre so much. And she started off as a child as Annie on Broadway.
That's right.
Did you talk to her about Sex and the City or Just Like That at all?
It was very brief because she was being pulled from pillar to post, so we didn't get to go in about the show. But
you invite her on this podcast? Because I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it was the thing that was going to come out of my mouth next, but then someone said Samantha, her name isn't Samantha, and then someone said Carrie, her name isn't Carrie either, and then someone said SJP, we need to get you to talk to this person.
Yeah.
Tom, cut those others out. But it was just wonderful being in her presence. I have been... Okay, I'll tell you my SJP story. I went to see Hamilton. Before anyone in London knew what Hamilton was, my friend Monica Beletsky, who's a brilliant showrunner, American showrunner, said to me, would you come up? We haven't seen each other for ages. I'd love to have a holiday with you in New York. And my friend, who I went to middle school with, is in this brand new show called Hamilton, and there's so much hype about it, and it's really difficult to get a ticket, but I got a ticket because I knew my friend was going to be in it before it opened. And I'd love you to come and watch it with me because I got these tickets. I was like, sure. I thought, Monica's friend's in a thing. When someone says their friend's in a thing, you don't necessarily expect. She told me there was hype, but I just didn't really take it on board. On the way there, I said, what are we seeing? And she said, it's a hip hop musical about the founding fathers. And I thought, oh my God, that would sound like something you'd see at C venues at the Edinburgh Festival. So I just was like, okay. And as it's opened, I was like, oh my God, this is absolute genius. And her friend from middle school turned out to be Leslie Odom Jr. And afterwards, we had been asked to stay because there was always too many celebrities and friends staying. There was just too many people to put in dressing rooms. So they'd have a party on the stage after the show every night. So if you were friends with someone in the cast, you got to go to this party on the stage. And it was pullulating again with celebrities. And Andrew Rannells at that time had taken over from Jonathan Groff briefly to play for like a couple of months, I think, the King George, the "You'll be back." And so I remember so clearly standing between Sarah Jessica Parker talking to Lin-Manuel Miranda and Andrew Rannells talking to someone else. And I was like, oh my God, this is like being in a crossover of Sex and the City and Girls. It was the greatest time. I didn't talk to either of them because I thought, what am I going to say? Big fan. You know, like, what does that give their day? And I did talk to Lin-Manuel Miranda, though, because he wasn't famous to me yet. So I was just saying, oh my God, you've got to bring this show to London. And he was really charming and we had a really proper talk. But we had a proper talk because I felt I didn't know him. And I talked to Lizzie Odom Jr. because he was my friend's friend. And he was so impressed by Monica, which was so lovely because he's obviously the star of this absolutely huge show and he won a Tony after that. And he was like, Monica was the year ahead of me at middle school and she always got the lead parts in the plays and she was like the best actor in our school. So I just wanted to impress Monica. And I'm like, oh my God. And he said also Monica's a big shot TV writer now, which of course she is. And I'm sure that hopefully that sometime they'll work together. But it was so lovely that night. So that's as close as I've been to SJP.
And do you agree that did you feel the same thing in her being near her, knowing, just having that admiration of what an icon she is?
Yes, a magnetic presence in such a small body.
Yes.
You know, she's tiny and she's a pixie person and yet radiates with charisma. Absolutely radiates.
Fashion.
Yes.
So I have a friend called Patrick McDowell, who is a designer, who has dressed SJP for one of these episodes. And it hasn't been on yet, but I think it must be because there's a couple of episodes to come, right?
10?
So
13, I believe.
13.
Oh.
Some reports say 12 and some say 13. Don't look so dejected. There's a lot more to get
There's a lot more.
Why do we still do it?
I think I've only got 10 in me.
I'm waiting for Patrick McDowell's creation to come on screen. That's what's keeping me through. But I haven't seen it
I just don't want
yet.
these people to have a life without me. And it's as sad as it is.
How incredible. And he's designed a dress and they selected him and it's going to be in one of the, and she, I watched an interview recently that she keeps everything. You probably know this, everything. And I would thought, do you think they're going to, this is maybe a segue, but do you think she'll put all the costumes on tour one day? Do you think she'll do like a exhibition of, because she keeps, it's in her contract. She keeps everything. Nothing is loaned. She keeps it all, which is just amazing.
I saw her recently. She said, unless something's vintage or loaned from a collection or something like that, she said, years before Sex and the City, she had a really good entertainment lawyer who wrote it into her contract that in everything she's in, she keeps it. So she must have a warehouse somewhere.
She
probably, you know, sealed and in the right temperature and everything, because apparently when and Just Like That started, the wardrobe people went in and pulled pieces from her collection so that they could have these old pieces of Carrie's wardrobe come back. I loved. And this may speak to me more than anything, but what Patti LuPone was wearing this week. She was wearing the most elegant, sort of, to the art exhibition, she was wearing this sort of elegant...
It's like a caftan-y thing.
I mean, I might be in my caftan era. I'm in a caftan now.
No, but
I'd heard about that on your episode last week, that you're in your caftan era.
I love a caftan. Love. I envy it.
It's like, what was it that I was watching? It was something like, I can't remember. It wasn't this, but something like the Gilmore Girls. And the first time around, I used to think, I wish I had Lorelei's wardrobe. And now I'm like, her mum's got some lovely blazers. It's like that. It's like that. I feel like I am jonesing after Patti LuPone's wardrobe now. And I'm like, she's so elegant.
So elegant.
So elegant. Any other moments of fashion moments this season or this episode that you've particularly...
This episode, really I thought Carrie, I'm always here for what she's wearing, but she wore that beautiful pink, very tight dress.
I liked
with
that.
Jewels over and a gold belt at the exhibition.
She had a silver purse and silver shoes and a gold belt, which I thought was bold. It is the kind of old school Carrie thing she used to do, though, like mixing things.
Yeah.
If I did that, it'd just be like, oh, no, I don't have a silver belt. Do you think anyone will notice if I wear gold? Whereas she will do that purposely as a clash.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear that. I would look like I was in the 80s. That to me was a bit 80s. And I wondered if she was doing that because she was going to an 80s retrospective.
Yeah.
That would be why.
I think so.
Lisa's... Oh, that's right. That's why she said the belt was 1982.
Yeah. But Lisa's, I can't get on board with the necklaces, the big necklaces. It's sort of a parody of itself now, isn't it? Do you think?
Lisa's outfits are too much.
There's something going on there.
She may have missed the turn off. But sometimes you miss the turn off and you're too proud to say, we need to turn around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just pretend you're going somewhere else. I think that's what's happened.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happened.
And she's so beautiful. It's like the necklaces just overpower everything, really. They make me want to look at the necklace and not the actor.
Yes.
And not take on the brilliance of what's going on the screen.
My very favourite Cal Wilson joke was something she riffed on stage with me. This is my very dear friend, and I toured with her in Australia and New Zealand for years. Cal Wilson, brilliant. She died very suddenly. And once we were both wearing statement necklaces on stage, and I commented on it, and she said, yes, this is a statement necklace, and the statement is, don't look at my neck. And I think sometimes it's such a brilliant line, which I asked her afterwards, is that your line? And she went, no, I just riffed it. And I'm like, my God, she was so talented. But bless her, and I love her. But maybe it's in her contract that she needs a statement necklace, and the statement is, don't look at my neck, because she's a middle-aged woman, and she is honestly... Is she the most beautiful woman on the planet?
Yes.
She's beautiful.
She's got to be up there, hasn't she? She is
Beautiful.
really something.
Yeah.
She is an absolute head turner.
Yeah. The dressing gown, when Carrie got out of bed, when they were in bed at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m., whatever day it was, she put this beautiful dressing gown on that it looked like maybe turquoise silk and then velvet. It just was definitely like a hand embroidered vibes, and it was beautiful.
Also, Lisa's pajamas in her aborted attempt to have sex with her husband, they were very nice as well.
They were very nice.
She wears great pajamas. They all actually, but you never see them in the same thing twice, and you think, God, how much, I mean, of course, it's a fashion show. Why should you? But you just think, my God, imagine just going through her pajama drawer, which would take, it's presumably a pajama section of her closet. It would just take ages, and I could just live in that section. I could just sit on the floor in that section and feel all the silks and the velvets. Oh,
I just had a thought, and it's a complete segue, but why the vertigo? What's with the vertigo?
it's a contrivance so that she can fall onto a condom.
So
I did like the line, I didn't think vertigo was real.
Oh, it's caused a lot of problems. It's caused a furore. That line has been cancelled.
I didn't like that line at all.
No, because it makes it. The Vertigo community has spoken out after that episode, and they've said, you're making light of it, you're making comic relief of it. It's a real thing. It's very debilitating. Don't use it as a contrivance so that Charlotte can fall over. When she first said the vertigo's back, I thought, Charlotte's never had vertigo before. And it reminded me of The Room. The Room, which is famously the worst movie in the world. People watch it as a sort of, hilarity hate watch. There's a line in that where the mum of the girlfriend goes, well, the cancer's back. And everyone always parodies it because we've never heard of it before. It means nothing. The daughter just rolls her eyes and then it never comes up again. And it was like that. Well, my vertigo's back. And I was like, oh my God, the cancer's back. The vertigo's back. We've never heard of it. I thought, I obviously have forgotten. And I Googled it, and no one knew anything about Charlotte having vertigo before.
And then she comes in from the event while on the phone to, who was she on the phone to? Lisa. And, Lisa's, that's it, just shopping, buying everything because of what's happened with Marion. But she's home and she's walking in, barely able to walk. Why did no one see her home? Like, where are her friends? She walks in the house.
That's true.
Her, she's
leaning over, hobbling in.
I was like,
none
where
of her
are
friends or colleagues? None
where
of the
are your
gallerinas.
friends? She
You've got staff.
passed out on a bed face first.
You paid 3 gallerinas. None of them could get you in a cab and get you back into your own bed.
Exactly.
And your husband can't even get out of bed, so it's not like he can come to the door and help you. He's literally bedbound.
Got giant nuts.
But I thought,
what a thoughtful gift.
But I thought the performance, the slightly comedic, bent over, falling on the wall, I enjoyed that.
I enjoy it. I enjoy Charlotte.
I just wish there was a little bit more work in covering over the cracks. It's sort of like, oh, the vertigo's back. Well, don't fall on the bed with the condom. Later, she falls. Narrator, she did fall on the bed with the condom. I'm like, of course. No, it's just... it's just so contrived. And someone's gone, well, how will we get her there? Can she trip? And someone else would be funny if she had vertigo. We'll plant that. It seems a bit out of, there's a different health issue every week in this show. So maybe we just say she had it before and they'll forget.
But to give them some dues, she was trying to stop Miranda from drinking.
You're clutching at straws.
But
she could have
don't
tripped.
clutch at straws when you've got vertigo. You'll fall onto my condom.
Yeah. Oh, what was the comment? Epstein. What was it that she said?
Epstein
I've got
bar.
the Epstein bar. And I didn't think vertigo was real, like Epstein bar, and I was like,
Yeah, the vertigo community is not happy.
What about the Epstein bar community? Have we spoke to them?
Don't rile them. There's enough
Sorry,
furore
I'm sorry.
distracting us from the Epstein files on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Release the files.
We don't need
Oh, my
the Epstein bar
goodness.
community up in arms. Although if you are from the Epstein bar community, please direct all of your emails to leenight at leenight.com. Okay, so this is my rewriters room.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
so each week, I believe that the conceit of the column and the segues of her writing her column, the monologue, did a lot of heavy lifting. So sometimes there'd be a very light on storyline. Miranda's TiVo wouldn't work, but it would be linked thematically, and we would see the bigger meaning in the way it linked to the rest of their stories. I think if we still had that, it would be immediately a better show, even if we didn't change much else. So each week I try and find a theme in the rubble. So this week the theme I've chosen is the back burner. So this is Carrie's monologue / segues between scenes. With Duncan downstairs and Aidan in my bed, I knew there was a plan B right under my feet. And though I hadn't admitted it to anyone, I couldn't help wondering, do we always feel safer if we have something or someone on the back burner? Meanwhile, Charlotte was reaching onto the back burner of the art world, the retrospective. When no new artists are inspiring the modern gallerina, she reaches back to the 80s, a time of discarded condoms and bad memories, so she can turn what's on the back burner into a nice little earner. On the other side of town, Lisa's back burner work husband was piping hot and edging right onto the front burner, where he was in danger of catching fire and burning her whole life down. Seema, having lost her job and her longest ever relationship with a man, her chauffeur, her eyelashes and some of her dignity, had reached not onto the back burner, but into my backyard, where she'd found a gardener who was hot as any stove in the world. Meanwhile, Anthony felt more and more like he was on a forgotten hot plate, as his mother-in-law saw lots more hot and tasty options for her son everywhere she looked. That is my thematic attempt
Love
at
it.
carving out a
Beautiful.
story this week.
Beautiful.
Any other themes or anything you saw there? Any other ways you'd like to change this show? Any other writers' room pitches?
Oh, that's difficult.
If we're a writers' room now.
Yeah.
Next week we could do whatever we want with this. I would have her in scene 1 be in a writer's session with Duncan, who Aidan keeps calling Dunkin' Donuts. Really annoys me when someone does that.
Yeah.
I hate that
It's
kind
just
of thing.
belittling them, isn't it?
Just
He's jealous. It's just so
Yeah.
childish.
So I'd have the two of them in a really sexy scene deconstructing. Page 22 sucks. Deconstructing it. And I'd have him bring down some Dunkin' Donuts, being really Aidan-y, awfully. And I'd have the scales fall from her eyes, and she'd go, listen, you were my noughties man, or outs, they say, there, don't they? You were my 2000s man, but I've been living in the past. That's why I've been writing about the past in my historical novel. Aidan, you are historical fiction. I'd call it historical fiction. I'm just riffing this now. But I'd call the show historical fiction. And she'd realised that Aidan was her historical fiction and she needed to live in the present with the man downstairs. I would have Alison Spittle's suggestion of Lisa needing to be baby girled by having Marion get really kind of dominant with her at work. I mean, I think we have suggested this before, but she doesn't know, is he being, like, she's getting off on it, but she doesn't know, like, is this a thing? And he's kind of ordering her around a bit and she's getting off on it. And she's like, I'm meant to be the boss. And she's like, the reason that's historical fiction is it's like she's like the secretary in Mad Men. That's good. And she's like, hold on, I'm meant to be his boss. And he sort of just not too much, not over the top, but just slightly giving her directions. And she's getting really aroused by it. Because there's a no touching then. She doesn't have to cheat on her husband, but it's kind of like a feel that she's getting a vibe, which she tells everyone at brunch. And then Charlotte... What can we do with Charlotte? Lisa, I need help, writer's room. Charlotte, what are we going to do with Charlotte? Charlotte.
She needs some. She needs an intervention, doesn't she?
Lily. I feel like we need Lily back to annoy her about something.
Okay.
Because Charlotte's so perfect. You can't. It wouldn't be realistic to throw any kind of spanner in there to throw her. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Charlotte is going to an historical fiction ball. So she has to dress up in historical fiction, because that's what they used to do at Sex and the City. There'd be all sorts of ways that would be woven in.
Yeah.
She's got to go to some historical fiction ball, like it's an Edith Wharton ball or something like that, and she's got to get dressed up. And she realizes that it plays into her desire to be very conservative and like have her husband and her children, and it fights with her modern gallerina side. And so she has a storyline about being two women, like loving this sort of old-fashioned world that she's fashioned for herself desperately, but also the kind of break out of that. Maybe it's not a ball, maybe it's an exhibition. Maybe it's an historical fiction exhibition where she imagines herself as the two sides of, the modern, and she's got an artist who wants to paint her as the modern and the modern and the historical.
Your writer's room is so much more sophisticated than mine. I'm just thinking like smart in my mind.
Smart?
No, not smart, but I think that...
Bodice ripper.
I think
That's good,
it
that's
needs an injection of... I think Lisa says to... what's her husband's name? Herbert. I think Lisa says to Herbert, I want to spice things up. Let's get rid of the silk pajamas and get Marion over. And I think they... Well, come on. I mean, they're trying to, you've got, they're trying to explore...
It's never, ever going to allow Marion to come over.
I think they...
If Marion was a woman... I know. Okay, this is a good storyline. Herbert says... She says, tell me your sexual fantasies, because she's kind of heated up. She's trying to heat it up, right? Like This is
where my writer's room's going.
Yeah, okay. No, this is good. This is why you have a writer's room. You have these different perspectives. I like it. So, okay, this is good. Herbert says, she says, she's trying to spice it up. She says, come on, Herbert, tell me your sexual fantasies. She's got to stop thinking about Marion. So she's like, let's make this new again. The problem is Marion's new. This has got a bit old. Let's spice it up. What sexual fantasies have you got? What have you never told me about? The things that you just too embarrassed to tell me. And he goes, okay, I've always wanted a threesome. And she's like, and then he goes, there's this girl at work, and she's like, oh, and she goes, well, there's this man at work. How about we bring him in for a threesome? And they have a huge row.
Yes.
About, like, and it's sort of like that's a great pitch.
Listen, it needs that little bit of an
injection.
Yeah.
Absolute injection.
And I think, then what you were saying about Carrie and Duncan having that writer's space, and it gets, and Aidan comes down, but then it sort of needs to explode. We need to see that awful...
That's good. So maybe Charlotte can be baby girl at work, where someone's giving... Maybe, that older man who owns the gallery.
Yeah.
What if he's bossing her around a bit in a way? But baby girl's about the junior guy bossing around the boss, so it's a bit different from that. But those are some fun storylines. And Seema, I know that you don't care.
Kill her off. Kill her off.
Don't say that.
What? We need a bit.
She's the first Asian woman that's been in it.
Okay. Now you make me feel. Now I'm cancelled.
You are both cancelled.
I didn't use the kill word. She could just move out of town.
Oh my God!
Listen, when Big died,
when
Big died, that was such a incredible opening to the whole thing, the whole world. We were just
Death by Peloton.
Death by Peloton. We were just like,
no one was expecting it.
Exactly. They went in, and since then, they have just not stayed with the bar that high, in the sense of throwing a curveball.
But they don't even keep a storyline week to week.
No.
Like Lisa's dad died, last week, twice, and also in season 2, or season 1. But last week, her dad died. And if you know anything about grieving after a parent, it does take a long time. But she is instantly into listen, and I'm not saying that you can't also get off on a man eating papaya just because your dad's died. But there's no sense of the tension of the grief or like, look, him going, what's wrong? And her going, I'm just my dad, and she's covering, and she is feeling bad about her dad, but also then this guy at work's being more comforting than her husband who's rushing in and out. He's asking her about her dad. The husband is, there's just ways of weaving it in without, making it about that.
But couple of lines.
But don't you remember when she was in last week, when she was on the phone, she found out her dad died, she phoned Charlotte and she was really sad and the music was, in line. And then the email popped up with the invite to the dad's funeral and the music changed to fun music. And she went, now I'm like over it, and then she sort of jumped into dealing with Jennifer Lewis.
I know we're not talking about last week's episode.
No, you've full permission.
But, last week gave us a performance by Jennifer Lewis that for me will always make me smile. And she's wonderful. It was great.
She's great.
She's a favourite of yours, isn't she?
She's one of my favourite actresses.
What do they call her?
The mother of Black Hollywood, because she's played everybody's mama.
When she plays your mother, Syrus, is that the day that you were going to think, I've really made it now, I can die happy?
Basically,
right.
Yeah. I've written the script.
Have you? So that she can play your mother. If I ever write a script that I think Syrus would be great for this, even if your character doesn't have a mother, I'll write one in just so we can cast her.
Great.
And the scene will be as irrelevant as any, and just like that scene. People are like, why did we have that scene with the mother? Because Syrus needed...
Even though he said his mother died in a previous episode, you'd bring her in.
Oh, I would. Even if you're playing a historical character who had no mother, I would be like, he does now.
He does now.
He
Get her
does
in.
now. Yeah. Famously, if the movie was called I've Got No Mother...
The man with no mother.
Honey, I've got no mother.
The man woke up, looked out the window, and wondered why he had no mother. All right, quick Easter egg game.
That could be a line from this show.
With no irony. All right, Easter eggs. This is the Easter egg game. When have we seen Aidan before have a one-on-one with Carrie, a head-to-head about closet space?
Oh yes,
I know they've had one before. I don't know the exact episode.
Well, you don't have to name the name, but just like, when was closet an issue between them before? And I think they were directly referencing this.
Oh,
when he comes in and he pushes her clothes to one side and says, so does my stuff go here? And then he laughs and goes, lol. And she says, I don't like horror movies. What's that referencing? I think quite clearly. From the old...
I've seen it. I know what you... I've seen a clip where they literally look about 12.
Yeah, absolutely.
They literally look 12.
It's when he moves in and they haven't knocked through to the next door yet.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, I can share. And she's like panicking about her closet space. And he says, throw this out. And she goes, what? This is a designer. He said, when did you last wear this? And she says, it's designer. It's from the 80s or something. And it's wonderful. And then at the end of the episode, you see her walking down the street in it. And she's like, fuck you.
She should have got rid of him then.
Really. When have we seen a human being in an art gallery before being the art?
Oh, there was a naked woman, right?
She wasn't naked. Very famous episode. Carrie meets one of her big lovers in this episode because of the performance artist.
I don't remember.
Okay, so how does she meet the Russian? Where is she when she meets Petrovsky?
Are we bad gays?
He's at the ballet.
No, she meets Petrovsky at an art exhibition that Charlotte takes her to, and it's a real artist, because in those days that's the kind of authenticity this show had. Her name's Marina Abramovich, and it was based on a real art exhibition she did, where she was sitting up on a shelf, and Carrie's making fun of her and saying, sister needs to put a comb through her hair, she's got company, and she says, Petrovsky takes her on because he fancies her and goes, "You're laughing at this. Yes, you're a comic." Remember?
Yes.
And she says, "I bet if we came back here at 3:00 in the morning, she would she'd be down at McDonald's. She's not really doing this because she's meant to be sitting there for days, not eating and drinking." She goes, "How is this art?" She's like, "If you put a phone up there, that's just any woman on a Saturday night waiting for some guy to call." Okay. Sex.
Sorry, we're
very bad at
Sorry,
this
we're
game.
not better.
No, that's all right.
Are you
going to
cut us
That's right.
from the whole
But
thing?
the audience love that you're bad because they're shouting at the podcast. They're going,
Oh,
"Come
shout-
on,
Shout at me. Shout
Marina
at me.
Abramovich!" They're shouting. Sex stream. That sex stream. Where else have we seen sex streams? In Sex and the City.
Miranda.
Okay, so Charlotte is asked directly by Lisa, "Do you ever have sex dreams?" And she says, "Yes." When have we actually seen and been inside of a Charlotte sex dream?
Oh, the gardener.
Yes, thank God.
Thank
God.
I have saved myself.
Thank God.
The
Yes,
gardener.
she has sex with the gardener in her dream. But I think Samantha also has a sex dream about the monk. I don't know that we see it, but she reports it.
Yes.
That she has a sex dream about Do you remember Friar Fark?
Yeah, Friar Fark.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was all the Easter eggs I could find this week.
I might have one.
Yes.
I don't know if it's an Easter egg thing. When has Charlotte been associated with condoms before?
Oh, she had to get some for Lily.
Lily.
Yeah.
That was an awful storyline. Lily, if you're responsible enough to have sex, go and get your own condoms and say to your mum, "Well, I'm just going to do it anyway," like a brat who knows your mum will go out into the snow. I cannot bear it. I was so glad last week that Rock said to Lily, "Get the fuck out of bed and get to your mum's birthday."
Yeah.
You're such disrespectful children. I can't stand it.
Disrespectful.
Sorry, again, I'm clearly in my caftan era. I just started following someone called, I think she's called at Welsh Emma LDN. I think Welsh Emma London, maybe Welsh Emma LDN, who's got some insights. And she said one thing she found absurd about this, which I thought was really, really interesting, was that Seema is suddenly broke, which I thought surely she'd have savings. She's done this real estate thing for a long time. I mean, not. Yeah, of course you have to pull your horns in if you lose your big job, but like suddenly you don't need to give up absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And be totally broke. But she pointed out, this is Welsh Emma LDN, pointed out that she was a partner. And she didn't have a name on the door, but she was a partner.
Yeah.
So if she can't afford to buy him out, the old man out, who said he was 90 or something, surely the new guy would have to buy her out.
Yeah.
So she would have a huge settlement to set up her own company.
Yeah.
And I just went, oh my God, that is a massive plot hole. Because he can't take it away from her. You can't quit a partnership. You
No.
have to be bought out.
Yeah.
Or you can split the company and go your separate ways, but she'd still have half that company.
And she had a really good relationship with him, the boss.
Yeah,
She had
so
he
he'd
said,
have
"I'm
to
going
buy-
to take care of you." She just wanted her name up there.
We are dealing with people who forgot that someone's father had already died.
I am wanting more than I'm owed. I
think we need to-
Right, Sam.
Yeah.
We
You're
have to,
absolutely right. You're
I
absolutely right.
I think Seema's not having savings is the least of Seema's character's worries. But I don't think we'd have enough time to go all out.
We've been
with
going.
that.
We've been going for an hour and a half. I realise that's probably not enough for this. And there's not much to be cut out either.
But
I
if your
was gonna
listeners are
say,
like Carrie and they don't know what time of day it is, then they're fine. They've got an hour and a half.
is it 7:30 in the evening or the morning? I don't know. I have nothing else to do but roll around in my 800 thread count sheets with a man who's an anti-vaxxer, while the perfect man for me is right under my feet. I couldn't help wondering, what has happened to me? Have I had a personality transplant?
Who am I?
Who am I? It beggars belief. Well, listen, let's hope that Anthony, who is now your new best friend,
Love him.
did you keep in touch with him?
Mario.
No.
But we did. He was so lovely. Like he was really. We just spoke about the industry and and.
Did he have any thoughts on them just like that? Seriously, you can tell me and we'll bleep it out.
He really was appreciative of what material we had in the last series, because the last series he did have some great stuff. I think his lines are some of the best. I think his delivery is some of the
writes a lot of
best.
his stuff.
He's the best thing in it. Like, let's
He's
be honest.
absolutely fantastic, and he was really grateful. Like you could see that for the for us saying like we think you've got your character's really grown and they've given you some really nice stuff to get your teeth into. He loved it.
Every line that he delivers is a zinger, and I think more Anthony all the time, please. I mean,
He could have a spin-off.
If
If I was in the writers' room, I'd be like, "We're spinning off here. We're
I
gonna
would
spin him
100%
off."
spin off to him.
I would spin off.
The Anthony Show, Anthony in the City. Make it happen.
I'd spin off. To him.
Cyrus, thank you so much for coming on the show. Lee, thanks for so much coming on the show. Have you got anything to plug?
Well, I'm not a massive plugger, but one thing...
Not what I've heard.
That's not what I've heard.
That's not what my husband said. No, but one thing I
hardly know her.
one thing that has come out this year that is brilliant is that I'm in a very small part, but I'm in Mike Leigh's new film, Hard Truths.
Wonderful film.
I've got a... Yeah, I'm in that. And
Hard
that's...
Truths, to be fair, sounds like that 30 Rock drama, Hard to Watch. Is it hard to watch, or is it
Do you know what? At times it is hard to watch.
At other times it's
very funny, but sometimes it kind of really gets you.
Funny is good. Funny alleviates it. Funny alleviates it. Okay,
but an
I'm excited to see
amazing
that.
Performance by Marion Jean-Baptiste.
I love her. And she was in the seminal Mike Leigh film
Secrets and Lies. And this is their opportunity to work together again. And actually, I remember I got the job and I kept saying, but it's one scene, it's one scene, it's one scene. And then when I saw the film, so many actors that I admire also have one scene. So that kind of. But anyway, so Hard Truths is out. I think it's on Prime. At the moment, so that was
I'll definitely be watching
that. Was a pinch me moment.
And Sam Spiro's in it. Sam Spiro.
Sam, who was wonderful.
She's wonderful.
That's a classy plug.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a classy plug. Any classy plugs or unclassy plugs? We will accept a mid-brow or a low-brow plug if you've got one.
Yeah, I've got. It's probably a mix of all of them. No, my debut short film as a writer-director called A Friend of Dorothy is we just world premiered at Rain Dance, and we were nominated for Best Short alongside Susie Wakoma. So we were both nominated. Neither of us won, but we were nominated Best Short, which was
that's nice though that neither of you won, because then you're still sort of like nobody feels jealous of anybody.
Exactly. And then
I'm EP on that film, by the way.
Are you?
Yes. So we both had a film in Rain Dance.
So me and you didn't even know that we were both nominated for Best Short.
I mean,
you were EP.
No, I knew.
No, I'm saying we didn't know till now that we both were in the same category.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think it's very much Susan Wakoma's film. This is just me going, I'm EP.
Yeah, but like...
Put some money into it, but it's very much Susan's film. But I feel very proud of it. I feel very proud to have backed and nurtured an artist I truly believe in.
Yeah, and I've got EPs on mine, and but putting your name to something and your work and your belief into an artist and art, and it's incredible. And for us, for the people that make the film, it's just wonderful.
Excited about that. So, Friend of Dorothy.
It's Miriam Margolyes is the lead.
Stop it right
Stephen
now.
Fry is also in it. I'm flying to Indiana next week because we are in the Heartland Film Festival, and then me and Cyrus go to LA because we've got in Holly Shorts Festival.
Stop it.
So it's very exciting. So we're kind of on that. Yeah, we're on that path at the moment.
The film is gorgeous.
Did you direct it?
I directed, wrote it.
Roted it.
I just said roted it.
Film.
I actually am a rotor. I'm a rotor.
The film, what I wrote.
It's my director and writing debut. I wrote, directed, and exec produced. I've got a wonderful team. And
any flirking through the team?
Through the team, no flirking.
Disappointing.
I mean, with Miriam on set, there could anything could have happened.
How can there not be any flirking?
We had a
Miriam
wonderful
Margolyes?
time.
It's not my film, but I will say it's beautiful. And the film was inspired by a friendship that Lee and I had with a friend of ours who was in her 80s. She passed away a few years ago. Very gorgeous woman called Shirley, and Miriam's character and the relationship she has with one of the other characters is inspired by our friendship with Shirley. So
it's a fictional story, but inspired by. So it's really like I'm sort of just loving this process, and it's out in the world, So
Okay, so where can we see a Friend of Dorothy? Will it stream at one point?
It will definitely stream. Actually, the Holly Shorts lineup do stream worldwide on something called BritPix, I think it is. It goes worldwide, but it will be in London. We've also got into the British, which I'm really proud of, British Urban Film Festival in October. So if you Google British Urban Film Festival, you'll see the lineup, and you can see it in London. But it will probably be on a streamer later in the year once we go through the festival circuit. But you can follow us on Instagram, Friend of Dorothy Film. It's Miriam Margulies is just wonderful. Yeah.
I once had a stand-up show called A Friend of Dorothy.
Oh, I love that.
Which was about me having lots of gay friends.
I love that.
But since I've come out of as bisexual, so I suppose in some ways it's not really. Bisexual isn't a friend of Dorothy, is it? It's code for a gay man.
Listen, the line in the film is where she says, she explains this young teenager where he hadn't heard of Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, and she said Dorothy had friends that were all a bit different, and I think that's a really beautiful way to think about it, that it's about people that feel they're a bit different, and that's what the film is about. It's about being seen, it's about intergenerational friendship, finding friendship when you least expect it, and I'm really proud of it.
Okay, we will definitely watch out for both of those things. It has been an absolute delight. Can I just say a huge round of applause and thank you for Lee Knight and Syrus Lowe.
Oh, thank you, so lovely.
Thank you for
thank you for having us.
Okay. You have been listening to The Guilty Feminist Watchers, and just like that with me, Deborah Frances-White, and my very special guests, Lee Knight and Syrus Lowe. The producer for The Spontaneity Shop was Tom Selinsky. The Guilty Feminist is part of the Acast Creator Network, and Just Like That is on Max in the United States and Sky Comedy and Now in the UK. See you next week for episode 9.
Cyrus, stop flirting with me.
Very nice. Well done, guys.